right on the money. Don't just let your business make something for you. Let it make something of you. This really is the key. I think that this business is designed really as a personal development program disguised as this really cool travel club. But so here's the thing. Just so you know who's talking to you, this is me. This was taken last week. Just look young for my age. No, that's kidding. This is actually me right here. My name is Martin Ruof. As I said, I live here in Los Angeles. My story is this. I worked in the restaurant industry for about 19 years in one capacity or another. And I basically saw this idea through Carrie and Leisha Schneider. They're two of the top income earners in the company. When I saw this, I loved the idea. I was initially drawn to the travel concept, being able to take great vacations. But I was also very, very open to making more money. So when I saw this, I immediately saw a way that I could do that. Jumped on board, took a vacation, a dream trip immediately. It was a cruise to the Bahamas on Royal Caribbean. It was 4 days, 3 nights. It was brokered by World Ventures for $33.50 per person. It blew my mind. We had extraordinary time. We got amazing value that went far beyond just the cost of the trip. So when I came back from that vacation, I was excited. I started sharing this idea with people, and it turned into a very, very lucrative business. I've introduced the idea to 85 customers, many of whom also became representatives and then chose to go out and share the idea with other people as well. From that point on, it's grown to tens of thousands of members in a business that now spans over 8 different countries. This has changed my life. I've been on 44 vacations in the last 5 years through this idea, all of which have been paid for through the compensation plan. My income rose dramatically. I mean, it's a night and day sort of a success story. But here's the thing. I'm not like the best at this business. I didn't graduate from college. I don't have a background in business. I was at the right place at the right time, and I got around the right people and took the right action. That's been the key. I will tell you, I think this is, as I've already said, a personal development program. First, in terms of building the business, a personal development program, focus on the inside out. That's been the key for me. But I'll tell you, the number one thing that has helped me build this business is getting around the right people and taking the right action. That is really what this day is about today. So we have a lot of people on this webinar. I'm looking at all the different names right now. People literally calling in. There's people calling in from Korea. There's people calling in from Greece, from Cyprus. But I know Sheila Ross is on the phone, is on the line right now. Hi, Sheila. Sheila and Scott Ross building a huge business. I know we've got Randy Rowland, Peggy Noonan, Ed Blunt. Great to see you on the line. Ed Blunt is an awesome leader out of New York. So there's a lot of people. Wow, this is huge. So here's the thing. Let's dive right into this. I want to introduce our speaker, and I'm really, really excited about being able to introduce Wayne. Wow, Jefferson Santos just jumped on the line. Wow, hi, Jefferson. Jefferson Santos, IMD. So yeah, guys, there's a lot of people on this call. This is great. Here's the thing, Wayne Nugent. He is the co-founder of World Ventures. He is also the chief visionary officer. And to say that he is a visionary, I mean, he absolutely is. He is one of the most extraordinary leaders, one of the most talented business builders I've ever met. He truly has transformed my life and literally tens of thousands of other people's lives, just on one level by creating this opportunity, on another level just by being who he is. He is someone who is extremely, extremely down to earth. He's someone who is a wealth of knowledge with network marketing, business, and just life. He's truly one of the funnest people that you will ever meet. And I'm gonna unmute Wayne here in just a second. So Wayne, I'm unmuting you right now, just so you know. So you are unmuted now. But I'm going to show you another quick picture of Wayne, and this is This is our co-founder and our CVO. You know, just an awesome guy. This was us in the Dominican Republic. So I love the fact that Wayne, the co-founder of the company, he can be all business and he can also relax and kick back and just, you know, really just be one of us. But guys, he is truly, he and Mike Asquay have created an opportunity that is, you know, second to none. He is going to be in Los Angeles next Saturday, training at the regional event, which we'll talk about towards the end of this call. But again, he and Dan Stamen will be here in Los Angeles. If you have not had the pleasure of hearing Wayne Nugent speak, I highly recommend you get a pen and a piece of paper or a book right now that you can write in and take copious notes. You do not want to miss a word of what this man has to say. What I would like to do is suggest that each of you also, if you have any questions that you would like to ask of Wayne, you can type your questions into the question box. I will look at it, and then when there's time, we'll do a quick little question and answer. Obviously, I won't be able to get to every single question that everyone has, but I would suggest you think of questions on two fronts. One, as Wayne is the Chief Visionary Officer, if you have any questions about the vision of the company, the direction, the future of the company, and you'd like to ask Wayne, that would be one front that you could use. The other front that you could ask questions from would be from a business builder. Literally, if you're brand new in the business, or even if you're like Jefferson, who's an IMD, Ed Blunt, Bob Michael, Sheila Ross. There's a lot of very, very successful people, top income earners on this call. So really, from a beginner to a pro, what kind of questions would you like to ask Wayne? So with that said, I want to jump right in and hand over the controls to our Chief Visionary Officer and co-founder, a very good friend of mine, Mr. Wayne Nugent. Wayne, it is all yours.
All right, my friend, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh, nice. All right, well, good morning, everybody. I'm excited. It's Saturday. We've got a corporate event coming up here at noon, with all our employees getting together and all their families, their kids. So that's exciting. We're building this, family culture, inside the company, but then also out in the field. There's a lot of teamwork. It's one of the things that we're most proud of. We've always said for a lot of years that we're co-creating this company from, here at the headquarters in Dallas with all of our corporate staff. And then, of course, all the great leaders out in the field. Like Martin Ruof, putting this together for you. I mean, that represents great leadership. My best buddy, Jefferson Santos, I hear just popped on. That's fantastic. That shows great leadership. The guy is still teachable. We'll talk more about that later. He's always interchanging these 5 hats of a pro networker that I taught him years ago. So, and I commend you all for taking time out of your schedule. It means you're serious. And so I really want to deliver what I can. Martin asked me to, schedule this and do this call with him. And, I feel like I'm, really busy. I am. I'm wearing a lot of hats myself now more than ever. But I do, of course, have a big heart for the field. That's where my friends are. That's where my family is. I do feel like I have a lot to add and contribute. And I really care about your success. For me personally, as the guy who this was, his idea, and the Chief Visionary Officer, it's like you're joining my idea. It's like a validation of my idea, of something that was just inside me that I was meditating on and stewing on. And, it's kind of like you throw an idea and, people show up. It's like, great. It's birds of a feather flocking together. So, it's really in a way like, you're buying into me, and we might not have even met yet. And so I just appreciate you for that. And I look forward to the people that are drawn to this company, especially because we charge money. I mean, they're special. They're the kind of people that you do want to travel around the world with, that you do want to have fun with, that you do want to be in business with. And you got to have those kind of friends in life, Everybody's got all kinds of friends that they just, I don't know if they really chose them, but when you chose this, you also chose to be a part of a certain kind of group of people. When you charge money, several $100s up front and, $50 or more a month, it weeds out a lot of people. In today's hyper-connected world with like Facebook and other social networking companies like that, it's free and anybody can join. And the problem is you get everybody in a situation like that. But with this, when you charge money up front, it weeds out a lot of people. So the people who do say yes, are very special people who have a vision of their future. And I think your vision for your future is probably in line, with our vision and where we're going and where we want to go with you. So, but it's how do you get there? The truth is I'd rather have you full-time working in this company than doing anything else. I'd rather you do this than, have some job for some company, wasting your time and wasting your talent. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is wasted talent. And I'd rather you do this than maybe even own your own business. A lot of times people own a business, but they don't own it. It owns them. And they're spread thin and it's not giving them what they wanted. So this, because it's a turnkey business, I think it can give you a lot more than you maybe even imagine. But it is, the hardest part is getting started. So let me see if I can get my PowerPoint going here. And Martin, are you able to see, what I'm seeing?
At the moment, we're seeing a picture of, we're seeing my screen, so I sent the controls to you.
Okay. All right, so what do I click on?
It should say accept keyboard and mouse.
Oh, really?
Here, let's see.
Let me find it. Find it somewhere. No.
Here, I'm gonna.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
All right.
Yep. All right, I got it. I was telling Martin I work on multiple desktops at a time, so let's see if I can get this where I need it to be. No, I guess it's not. We'll do it this way.
There we go.
All right. I think we got it. Now what do you see?
Now we got it. We're good to go.
Do you see this webinar control box?
No, we do not see that.
Okay, great. All right, folks, let's get it. Again, Wayne Nugent, people either say Wayne Newton or Ted Nugent. But when Martin asked me to do this, I just took a few minutes and I threw some slides together. So I'm not a PowerPoint expert or anything like that, but I did what I could to try and get my points across and kind of have somewhat of a flow. And so just roll with me and hopefully you get a copy of this and a copy of the audio that goes with it. And, I'm just going to give you a cram session. And let's start the clock and see how fast we can do this. Okay. All right. So now do you see formula for success?
Yes, we do. If you could if you could speak up just a little bit louder, that'd be great.
Okay. All right. So hopefully you see this formula for success. And I always try and start at the 30,000 foot view, just kind of give you this big perspective, like as if you're hovering above the planet, and I don't know, that's always given me a real sense of power, almost real sense of control over my life and my future, where I can just kind of just stop and get a 30,000 foot view. It doesn't matter who I've been in the past. It doesn't matter where I'm at right now. What matters is what future do I see? Do I see a clear path to get there? And so if you can just stop, if you can just almost like clear your mind, just stop and let's hit reset and start over again. And now let's go build your life as a team, okay? This isn't, lose that thought of it's all about you, okay? You joined a team of people that care about you. Okay, we get what we want if we help you get what you want. That's not just some cliche. Okay, that's actually very real. So that's what we think, and that's what we feel, and that's what we believe. Whether you believe we believe that or not is irrelevant. That's what we believe. So you might as well just test us on it. So you want success. I think that's why you're here listening to me right now. And there's a formula for success. It's pretty simple. It's pretty basic. You might not have ever thought of it in terms like this before, but here it is. It's real simple. It's desire, which you obviously have, otherwise you would not be on this call, in this webinar. And then there's the opportunity, which you picked. There's a lot of things out there you could do, but you picked this one. Plus mentor, plus skills, plus time equals success. So desire, that's the number one ingredient. This is what you have to show up with more. If you didn't have any kind of initial desire, you wouldn't have been looking, you wouldn't have been listening, you wouldn't have shown up at the meeting, whatever. So somewhere inside of you, you've got desire. Now we just got to stoke the flames of your desire. And it's got to be a burning desire, a white, hot, core desire. And ask yourself these questions. Do you want more fun in your life? Yes or no? Do you want more freedom in your life? Yes or no? Do you want more fulfillment in your life? Yes or no? Hey, what percentage of the population do you believe, out of 100%, what percentage of the population do you think would like to have more fun, more freedom, and more fulfillment in their lives? I mean, I think that's most, right? Can we at least say 90%? I'm going to show you, this is what I do in a presentation. I'm showing people that 9 out of 10 people want or need what we've got to offer. So, and this is really what it's about. I mean, if you talk to everybody that's joined us and been on a dream trip with us or is making money with us, they're going to tell you, are they having more fun? Yes. Are they having more freedom because of residual income and other things? Yes. Are they having more fulfillment because of the type of training and everything we provide? Yes. Okay, so we are doing that. You've signed up for that. So the opportunity, this is something you don't have a lot of control over directly, but you do indirectly because you're tapped into leaders like Martin and Jefferson and a number of other leaders, and we listen to them. They're a part of our PAC team, and they're a part of our trainers. So if you'll grab these guys and say, listen, I am dead serious about this, okay? I mean, I get it. I'm in, I'm sold out, here I am. Raise me up, take me under your wing, coach me, train me, and we know who's serious because you're showing up. And show up consistently. Just like you are to something like this. I promise you, when we're finished with this here in the next few minutes, you're going to have gotten your time's worth. So you could be doing anything. I mean, I used to go to these franchise and opportunity shows. Back in the day, it was Subway Sandwich Shops was the number one food rated franchise, and Mailbox Etc. was the number one non-food rated franchise. And there's, there was T-shirt making, there's buttons, there's painting curbs. I mean, there's mowing lawns. There's all kinds of businesses out there. So, why us? And I think if you start with the end in mind, because there's a lot of network marketing companies too, selling soap and vitamins and long distance and get skinny pills and all this. I mean, it's just, electricity. It's like, is that who you want to be in life? Is that what you want to represent? This bottle of juice, this snake oil, as if it's the cure-all. To me, it's kind of ridiculous because until you're willing to stop eating pizza and stop doing this and stop doing that and getting all your, what is this one shot of, whatever really going to do for you? I mean, there's so many other dynamics to your overall health. And a big part of that is friends and family more than anything, close relationships, and then creating memories with them and traveling with them. Really, that's the biggest thing when it comes to health. So, this is the way I see our opportunity, and this is why I'm so sold. This is why I'm so enthusiastic about it. And a sale is made when there's a transference of enthusiasm, and it's who is more enthusiastic, the seller or the buyer. And there's always a seller and there's always a buyer. Make sure you're the seller and not the buyer. But you need a mentor. to help you maximize the opportunity. Once you have desire, once you've chosen your opportunity, now you need a mentor to come along to really, train you up. And I got to tell you, you got to be teachable. Are you able? I don't know how old you are. We got some people that are young and they just graduated college, right? And they, maybe, you remember how it was when you're 20, 21 years old. You think you know it all, and you're amazed at, But then there's some people that are, we got a lot of them, 40, 50, 60, they've owned their own businesses. They've been successful in business or other things, other careers. And, they got to be teachable. It's like if I'm walking into their world and I want to make money in their world, then that's when I be quiet and I listen to them and I be a sponge. Okay. Well, you got to have that kind of a humble heart, and you got to be that kind of teachable person over here. And you learn from the people that are already achieving what it is that you want to achieve. And you give them respect and for what they've accomplished. So a good mentor is going to want to pour into you. A lot of times a good mentor cares more about your success than you do. You'll quit on you before they'll quit on you. But it's our job to help develop your skills. And we want you to be the best that you can be. A team is only as strong as its weakest link. And as one of the owners of the company, I'm here to tell you, I want strong leadership throughout this entire company from top to bottom. I come out of the military, the Marine Corps, and they beat you down and they tear you down and then they rebuild you. And I was willing to go through that process. I enlisted. I signed up to go through that process, boot camp, but that's the same thing here. You got to show up and be ready to learn a lot of new skills, and you got to have a sense of urgency. Let's get into the timing aspect. You got to have a sense of urgency, but you also have a sense of patience. You got to run your race as fast as you can. What's most important, though, is you finish the race that you started. Now, when you signed up for World Ventures, you signed up for this race. And there's people doing this race, running the race, winning the race. You can never say that this don't work. It's working for all these people. So if it'll work for any of them, it'll work for you. And if anybody ever quits and they say it didn't work, no. That is weak. And as long as they're looking for a reason outside of them about why it didn't work, that person is not growing, and they're going to fail at the next thing, and they're going to fail at the next thing, and they're going to fail at the next thing until they're willing to look in the mirror and take accountability and say, you know what, it does work because it's still in business. If it didn't work, they'd go out of business. And then there's all these other people having success. And you know where I got this lesson? When I first started in network marketing, my uncles, I had two uncles that used to just make fun of me as soon as I walked in the doors, kind of like those Muppets, up in the balcony, and those old two Kaji Muppets. And they used to just rip on me. And they had tried Amway in the past. And Amway's, when I first heard about it, was doing less than $4 billion a year. Now they're over $8 billion a year. So they're still in business. Most of that's from international growth. But that company's still around. And there are people, it's hard, no doubt. It's one of the hardest ones out there. Okay. They got to have good training because it is hard, and their people are locked because they got great trainers because, it's tough. But, I had to tell my uncles, look, truth is you quit. I'm not going to quit at this. I'm going to succeed. And then I'm going to make you question your whole life, because my uncles were not in a place financially to be ripping on me. And the truth is I did go on to succeed without them and their help and their support. And then later on they did join me. They lit a fire in me, boy. I felt like I had something to prove because the math just made sense. And math doesn't care about you or me. Math is just math. It's like gravity. Gravity don't care if you believe in it or not. So when I just ran the numbers, okay, of exponential growth, I just said, man, that has nothing to do with me. Okay, that has nothing to do with my uncles. That's just math. And that dynamic, that's more powerful than a job any day. So, a lot of times people say that we're salespeople. Sometimes you're going to go to trainings and say we're not salespeople, we're share people, stuff like that. And I agree with all that. There's some salesmanship involved, but there's salesmanship in everything you do in life. Okay, so, people have this aversion to sales. But that's because, maybe we have this image of pushy salespeople or slick salespeople or like a used car salesman. No. Salespeople are important and they're needed. And I've always approached sales, and I've in a what's called consultative selling, communicative, where you communicate when you sell. You really have a sincere interest in the other person's need, and you believe that your product or service is going to make their life better. Okay, to me, I'm excited to represent a company or a product like that. I can't tell you how many times I've sold Bob's Steak and Chop House here in Dallas, or an iPhone, or my iPad. I mean, I've sold a ton of them. Okay, so many good books. So everybody's a salesperson. What people say, what movie do you want to go see? And then you say, not that one. Well, that's you selling. People say, what restaurant are you at? You say, not that one. Well, that's you selling. When your prospects tell you, I don't have the money, dude, that's selling. I mean, if you offered them your, my Mercedes or Porsche for, $365, could they come up with the money? Yeah. Okay, so they have money. It's just for what's important to them. They just don't see the value. It's not they don't have the money. They don't see the value. And that's our job. Okay, if somebody ever tells you they don't have the money, maybe you didn't build the value. Because they'll come up with the money. I don't have the time. You always have time for what's important to you. Time don't own you. You own time. Time don't control you. You control time. So, it's always a matter of priorities. So these are examples of people selling you that they don't have the time, they don't have the money. And the question is, who's the seller, who's the buyer? You thought when you showed up, you're going to sell them something, you're going to show them something, but then they start selling you. They don't have time, they don't have the money. And I'm not talking about being pushy here. I'm just talking about talking through this stuff. That a lot of times these are groundless expectations, and you've got to be willing to develop the skill sets to talk through this stuff for their best interest, not for your best interest, not so that you can make a sale and not that you can earn a commission. Okay, that's why you want to do this in a very professional and tactful way, because you want them on their team and you're trying to build a long-term relationship here. Martin, Jeff, these guys are like family and brothers to me, and they're off doing their thing around the world, building their teams, and I had an influence on that, and I'm proud of them. But then when we come together, I mean, I'm just happy to see these guys. I mean, I just really like them, and I really respect them. And, iron sharpens iron. But when I met them, I wasn't trying to hard close them or something. So it's just, what's your attitude? What's your perspective? So, why would you choose sales as a profession? Well, there's no guarantee of income in a lot of sales jobs, but there's no cap either. And, why network marketing? Because there's other sales jobs I had. Well, look at the traditional sales funnel to the left. And you'll see that in a normal sales funnel, they teach you to put 100 prospects in the top of the funnel, and then how many sales pop out the bottom. And where this first clicked with me, I was sitting in a training at the Anatole here in Dallas. A pro networker from the stage was asking this question of the audience. Okay, if you put 100 prospects, and he was doing this traditional sales funnel, he's saying, if you put 100 prospects in the top, how many sales pop out the bottom? And, people were saying like that, 10 sales, whatever. And then I yelled, 15. No, he said, if you put 10 prospects in the top of the funnel, how many sales pop out the bottom? And everybody's saying, 2, 3, 5, somebody goes 10, I yell 15, because to me, it sounds like an inverted sales funnel. Look at the network marketing sales funnel to the right. If you put 100 prospects in the top, and then within there, it generates 10 sales. Okay. But some of those become reps, and you take those reps, under your wing. I mean, you show them the whole buffet. Okay. And let them choose what fits them best. And a lot of people do say, especially in today's world, in today's economy, yes, I'm looking for a way to make more money. And yes, I believe in this product enough to buy it, that I believe in enough to sell it. I'm a member of Sam's Club, and I believe in that concept. Yeah, I believe in this one, especially if you're showing me these trips at these prices. And so, what winds up happening is the 100 prospects you put in the top can turn into 10 sales, but then a lot of those people also are not just customers, they're sales reps. And then if you work with them and if you train them, and even if you don't, if you get them plugged into a webinar like this one, okay, if you plug them into the trainings that we're doing from the company level down throughout our leadership, you don't have to know all this stuff. You don't have to be the trainer. There's a time for that. I'll talk about that in a little bit. You just need to plug them into what we're doing and let us work for you. I mean, shoot, it's Saturday. I've got a company thing going on. You got the owner of the company on the webinar with you right now. I mean, this is a part of the system. I mean, goodness gracious, I guarantee you there's some people on this webinar right now saying, man, I wish I would have had more people on here. We'll figure out how to do that next time. Here we go. Again, the 30,000 foot view. I care about your future, your family's future. I care about your success. My favorite word is freedom. I care about your freedom. Most people have no clue what freedom is. All right? Even in America, we live in America, the land of the free, but really it's land of job. Okay? It really is. It's sad, but it's true. Okay? This country was founded on, entrepreneurship. And making your own way and building a business. And we've mentally and emotionally gotten away from that. That's horrible because this is the only country in the world like that. And so this is Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. And I think it's incredible. And I think it's something that you should train your people on, that there is the E quadrant. Because this is what you're doing when you do this kind of thing. And you're talking about how there's this E quadrant that over 90% of the people spend their whole life in, and then they die. Okay, you're putting a pebble in their shoe where it's just, you're planting a seed. You're putting a pebble in their shoe that just bugs them. They're not going to be able to sleep good at night because this is going to stick in their brain knowing that they're working long and hard. They're on the 40-40-40 plan, building somebody else's dream and somebody else's life and somebody else's future. And so I say, E is the employee quadrant in the top left. And so most people are an employee their whole life, and they climb the ladder. They go from one job to the next job, one job to the next job, each time trying to get a raise of some sort. But they always work for somebody else, and they took no risk. And so on the left side of the quadrant, you're very limited. And then on the right side where you see B and I, so S on the left stands for small business or specialist. B up in the top right-hand corner stands for, big business where you have some leverage. I in the bottom right stands for investments, where you're making money on your money. So, but back to the E quadrant where most people spend their whole life. And these are the people that you're out there trying to talk to. It's probably, 97%. It's ridiculous. 70 out of 100, 80 out of 100, 90 out of 100 people you go talk to, they work for somebody else. And so you're coming to them talking about this, and it's just outside what they've been taught their whole life. So that's the job. You've got to know that's the hard part. That's the job. But if you want to get paid, do the job. If you don't, quit. So, that's your choice. Some people spend so long in that 40-40-40 plan that they get fed up, they get sick of it, they save their money, and they want to start their own small business. And that's where I was, and that's where I wanted to look at Subway sandwich shops or mailboxes, etc. This is where a lot of doctors start their own practice or lawyers start their own practice. But they're the specialists. They have to do it. The small business, the number one rule in small business is mind the store. Your employees will rob you blind. Your employees will never respect the business or take care of the business like you will. So, do you own the business or does the business own you? Now, in the B quadrant, big business, that's what we represent. Martin told you that over the course of the last 5-6 years, he's personally sponsored 85 customers. How many of those became reps, I'm not sure. But of those 85, that's turned into tens of thousands in 8 countries around the world. And And Martin is making more money than he can spend. It'd be gross if he spent all his money. It's just, it's a lot. Okay, so he can make money on your money. He can make investments. He can leverage himself now. Okay, and this is how the rich get richer. No wonder the poor stay poor and the rich get richer. Okay, what side do you want to be on? So there's three primary forms of leverage that you want to put to use here. I know y'all have heard of the most common, most popular. If you go to the bookstore and say, I want to be rich, where's the money-making section? You know, it's all about, you know, get the best job you can that pays the most, and live below your means, and save and invest the difference, and let your savings and let your interest compound over time. And this is where I don't like Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, you know, others like that. It's all about live on less, live on less, live on less. I mean, it just aggravates me. Where do they ever talk about go out and make more money? It's sad. Okay? I mean, I'm all about not living on less. I'm all about you learning the skill sets to make more money, starting part-time, and let your part-time become your, you know, overtake your full-time, and then make it big time. And the three forms of leverage, compound interest is great. You know, it's a 40-year plan. If you've got that money and you got, you know, anybody can become a millionaire over time. You know, just save $300 a month. You know, every month without fail for 40 years and let it compound and compound and compound. And hopefully your 401k doesn't become a 201k. But that's the most accepted. People believe in that. What we're talking about, what we're going to try to teach you, is compound effort. All right? And that's what I've done by working with people like Jefferson and Martin and other leaders. But, I mean, I'm duplicating myself. I'm taking all the knowledge. I've got these books. Let me just tell you the books I got sitting in front of me. And I'm going to talk about them in my recommended book list. But these are where I draw a source of energy from and power from. Okay? You know, God, you know, that's where I get all my energy. But these books right here, I've got, you know, Raising a Giant, Awakening the Giant Within, Why We Want You to Be Rich by Donald Trump, Pampered Chef, New Professionals, you know, John C. Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, Multiple Streams of Income, The 1 Minute Salesperson, The 1 Minute Manager, The Magic of Thinking Big, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, How to Win Friends and Influence People, my favorite book, Think as a Man Thinketh, The Richest Man in Babylon, The Magic of Thinking Big, Big Al Tells All, Think and Grow Rich. I mean, these few books right here, just sit in front of me, are mind-boggling. So we got to teach you the skill set. You got to learn stuff. You can't give what you don't have, okay? So you're acquiring knowledge today. You're on the path to acquiring knowledge. That's making you a bigger and better, stronger person to lead others, okay? And that's where you get an effort, where you leverage your efforts. And then there's compounding time. And when people tell you they don't have the time, well, it's not about your time. It's about our time, okay? But it's also compounding time zones. Like when Martin tells you that he has business in 8 countries. And I'm telling you, like, Jefferson has people in several countries. But Matt Morris, he's got people in 19 countries. I mean, you pick up the time zones. Most people only make money between the hours of 9 and 5 in the city they live in. Well, it's always 9 to 5 somewhere. Our golden hours in this business are 7 to 9 p.m. in the evenings. And it's always 7 to 9 p.m. somewhere. Or a Saturday morning like this. It's interesting that we're doing this on a Saturday morning. I'm going to talk about that also. So here's the 4-step cycle of duplication. You don't get rich off what you do and your skills and all this other stuff. You get rich off what other people do. So there is luck of the draw. Hang on a minute. Sorry about that. Now, it all starts with invite. first, I'm going to teach you how to be a master prospector. That's extremely important. But the cycle is invite, present, enroll, and train. Invite, present, enroll, and train. I call it IPET. And you want to become a master inviter. You want to teach your people to become a master inviter. And even if you stink at it and you screw it up, still do it. That just means you got to go talk to more people and invite more people. But the point is, you're inviting them to a presentation. You're not going into sales mode yourself and doing the presentation yourself. You're getting them around something bigger than you. This webinar is bigger than me. It's bigger than Martin. You know, it's us. Okay, but that's how a big meeting works. So get them in front of other information and other people. That's the best presentation you have. You should really see the 6 tiers of exposures. You know, that Peach and Scott Ross are doing. There's a great webinar. We'll have to get you a link to it. But just talk about the 6 different tiers of presentations and exposures. So invite, present, then we're going to get them signed up. And in between those two things, there's usually objections that you got to learn to, you know, answer. And then we're going to train people. What is it that we should really train people how to do? We should role play. We should do it with them. We should do it in front of each other. Okay, we should all have our lists. We should all come together, and we should all just get together at Starbucks or wherever and start inviting people. That's what Jefferson and I used to do. We'd be at Starbucks going, "Hey, what are you doing? Get up here. Come up here. Me and my buddy, man. I got something you got to see. Get up here." Or Champs, "What are you doing for lunch, man? Get up here." You know, that's all it was. So it's just, we're just sitting there calling people and inviting people in front of each other. Y'all need to be doing that as a team. Now the results, if you master the 4-step cycle of duplication, here's the results. You are going to have your dream life. You're going to travel. You're going to have a lot more fun. You're going to have a lot more freedom. You're going to have a lot more fulfillment. So you're going to travel, you're going to have fun, you're going to make friends, you're going to make money, you're going to travel, you're going to have fun, you're going to make friends, you're going to make money. It's just going to be a cycle, a vicious cycle, and somebody's got to do it. So it's worth it. So here we go. Here's some meat for you. How to jumpstart yourself and then jumpstart your business. Number one thing we talked about, build belief and desire, because you'll only perform to the level of your belief. So you got to ask yourself, if everything that we're telling you about World Ventures is true, and working your way up the ranks is going to give you this life, if all this were true and that you believed you could do it, you know, what do you want? And for me, it was as simple as freedom. I just didn't want to have a boss. I didn't want to have a job. That was my main thing. And then after that, shoot, if I make more money and I can get a nice car and get a nice house and all that, great. But really, I just don't want to have a boss and I don't want to have a job. So that's what I was looking to do, is work as hard as I could part-time on the side just to replace my job money. And I did that, and then I went full-time, and I never looked back, and it's just been awesome ever since. So, but make the decision. Know what you want and make the decision and make a commitment to it. And that's where this the other webinar with Scott Ross was really good. You'll have to get a recording of that. So you'll only perform to the level of your belief. So whatever you do to boost your belief is just going to make you 10 foot tall and bulletproof. It's going to make you a lot stronger, a lot more powerful, a lot more effective. And you just got to know, it's not can you do this? Okay, you can. It's will you do this? Successful people do what unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. One of my favorite quotes. Make this business a priority in your life. You always have time for what's important to you. Stop making, don't have that excuse in your head that you don't have time. You make time. You start saying no to other things. And you make time for this. Build your top 10 to 20 best prospects list. Every time you sign somebody up, you should get this out of them the moment they sign up. At that time, their top 10 or 20. And you build this into the presentation, and you build it into the training. But you teach people to think of 2 kinds of people. If you could travel anywhere in the world, money's no object, who would you want to travel around the world with? Who would you like to have fun with? Who would you like to hang out with? And then number 2, who would you like to be in business with? And out of the hundreds or thousands of people that you've met in your life, I'm asking you for your top 10 or 20. And if you get those if you call those top 10 or 20, are you insulting them and interrupting them? No. I mean, I didn't ask you for everybody that you've ever met in your life. I asked you for your top 10 or 20 that you love so much you'd want to travel with them or be in business with them. That is a compliment. These people, should be complimented that you've put them on such a pedestal. So, and then after that, after we get that initial list of your best prospects, your top 10 or 20, and you better go after them first or somebody else in this company will. Your best prospects are going to hear about this from you or somebody else. Take that to the bank, I promise you. And it'll bug you, it'll kill you that you hesitated to call them. So, and it's not, who signs them up, it's who gets in front of them with the information. That's what matters more than anything. So then we'll build your list of 100 after that, and it becomes a living list of 100. I always want to have a new list of 100. And I go on these recruiting blitzes where I stack another list of 100 names of people I'm meeting because I have a habit of meeting people and getting their name, phone number, and email address. And I add them to the list, add them to the list, add them to the list, and then boom, I go after it and start stacking them in the computer and build a new team. So, just think about it. Who else do you know? And who else are you going to meet tomorrow? How to invite? Whoever shows this to the most people the fastest makes the most money. So it's just getting this in front of people. It's not about how many join, it's about how many you show. And you got to have this just look attitude. As soon as you approach people and you have this attitude like you're trying to sell them something, like you're telling them what they need to do and how much it costs and blah, 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 and you're asking them for money, yeah, no wonder the walls are going up and they're blowing you off. But when you have this attitude of, just look, I don't expect anything, okay? Leave your wallet at home, whatever. Just look at what I got. I'm telling you, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And I'm going to bug the crap out of you until you at least just look at it. I don't care if you want to do it or not, but let's get it straight right now. You're going to look. I'll camp out on your front doorstep. I'll block your driveway. You're going to give me 30 minutes, and you're going to look at what I got. So just have that kind of attitude. Master the two-step invite and use text. Don't leave a phone message. Don't leave an email. Okay, text is what works best nowadays. So master the two-step text invite. If done properly, you should get plenty of appointments with your prospects. You just text them. Hey, bud, when's the soonest we can meet for coffee in the next day or two for about 30 minutes? Hey, are you going to be home tonight? You're just looking for a yes or no answer here. Hey, are you open for lunch this week? Well, what is it? It don't matter. Listen, I got to get with you. I can't get into it with you over the phone. I don't have a lot of time right now. I'm running late for an appointment, but just can we get together this week? Yes or no? Or when's best? Monday, Tuesday? Before work, after work, whatever. But you get the idea. Ask them this kind of a pointed question. Set the appointment. Do it through text. Okay, so how to prospect strangers. You should, in the 3-foot rule, because if you run through your list of people you do know, which we all do and you should do, okay, after that, there's plenty of great people out there that you want on your team. And you want them on your team before somebody else gets them on their team in some other company. So help us get people into our company before they join some other company and they get burned out on network marketing because they joined the wrong thing. After 5-6 years, it's unheard of that there's a company out there like ours that has all the leadership they started with. People are happy here. Okay? So we just got to play team, and we got to do the basics. We got to teach this from top to bottom. So with the 3-foot rule, you are who you say you are until you prove otherwise. And that means you got to have the posture of the expert, of the pro. Be the expert. It's what do you look like? How are you dressed? What do you talk like? Do you speak business, money-making lingo? Or or do you sound like you don't know what you're talking about? How do you feel? Do you feel strong? Do you feel smart? Do you feel powerful? Do you feel sold on what you've got? Do you feel like you're looking out for them, like you could really help this person? That should be your attitude. And do you have business cards? And the only reason you give somebody a business card is to get their information. And so I'll ask people, hey, okay, yeah, in case do you have your card? They go, oh, no, I don't have one or whatever. I go, well, boom, I pull one out and it says your card on it. It has a space where they can fill in blanks for their name, their email, and then their phone number in that order. And they fill that out. And they laugh because it says your card on it. They go, man, this guy's sharp. And inside their head, they're thinking, man, this guy's on it. So, carry those things, blank cards with you around like that they can fill out. And like you've done this 1,000 times. They'll be glad to join your team after that because they know, man, this guy's a recruiter. This guy's a go-getter or gal. So make prospecting a habit. You've got to, this is a healthy habit towards your financial future. You should never run out of people to talk to. You've got to learn how to become your own lead generation source. And don't be hanging out at home. I mean, if you're trying to build this business, go hang out at Starbucks, go hang out at the bookstore, go hang out at the car lot. I don't care what. Go to different, meetings about making money, something. Figure it out, but go get around people that you can meet and talk to. If you are going to be at home, get online and get in these chat rooms with people who like to travel or like to make money. And start meeting people over the internet if you have to. Do it over your phone from wherever you're at. Do it while you're stuck in traffic. Before work and after work. So, but the point is you got to learn how to talk to other people. If you're afraid to reach out and talk to other people, find out why. I believe when I talk to somebody else, a complete stranger, that I could change their life, that I have the ability to change their life. Me as far as who I am and my opportunity and what it can do. And I believe that with every fiber of my being. And if for any reason they blow me off or say no to me, they didn't say no to me. They said no to the life they could have had. And I suspect they'll be okay in life. They'll get by in life. But I believe with me, man, they could have had a real good future. Statistically speaking, that they weren't likely to have. So you want to create this habit of generating 2 new prospects a day. Get 2 people's names, phone numbers, and email addresses. And then get in the habit of, getting your information in front of 2 new prospects a day, okay, of your living list of 100. And you use the system. And the system is the Dream Team Builder system, followed up with a 3-way phone call, or it's getting people to Starbucks with your upline and a 2-on-1, or it's getting your upline to go to their house with you. Whatever it is, use the system though, which is use teamwork and use the tools. Now, how do you follow up and set an appointment? Well, you text them. You got to find out who your full-time upline leader is that's going to help you do all this. It's important that you know the most common objections and excuses. Because they're never going to stop. You're going to hear them again and again and again. And what's most important about these objections is you don't let them affect you. You don't let them suck the life and energy out of you and blow you out. If you expect them, okay, and you know that this is just how most people are, and you're not looking for most people, you're only looking for that 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10, okay? Those are who the leaders are in the world. There's leaders and there's followers. And statistically speaking, most people are followers, and you want that 1 or 2 or 3 out of 10 that's the leader. But you got to be talking to the 10 to find those 2 or 3. And if you're not talking to them, somebody else is. And then there's the law of attraction. So what are you learning? How are you learning and growing and by personal development for you to become the leader? Okay? And I've watched a lot of people who stayed focused, who stayed committed, who spent money going to trainings and spent time going to trainings. that they grew. And then they realized, wow, I was not spending my money and spending my time. I was investing my money and investing my time in myself and growing myself. And that's the best investment you can ever make. And the law of attraction will kick in. So, of course, the most common objections: I don't have the time, or I'm too busy. I don't have the money, or I can't afford it. I'm not a salesperson, or I don't know anybody. I'm not interested. Or what's unspoken inside their head and heart is they don't believe they have the credibility to call anybody. Or they believe they have so much credibility, they don't want to put it at risk. They say, this is a pyramid scheme. If anybody ever says to you, is this a pyramid scheme? That lets you know that they've never done one of these before. The only people who say that are ignorant people. They're not stupid, they're ignorant. They don't know what they don't know. Nobody that's ever signed up for a network marketing company or a multi-level marketing company would ever call it a pyramid scheme. Now, if you can switch those people, a lot of times they're the best, because through the years, they've said no to everything. And what they're going to start saying to people is, look, I mean, I've been alive this long. I've seen everything come and go. This is the only thing I've ever said yes to. And they have just so much conviction in that. So it's worth your time to overcome that objection. What would people think of me? Well, doesn't that say a lot about them, that they're worried so much about what other people think about them? They don't have the backbone. So I've already tried something like that already. It didn't work. Well, there we go. It didn't work. Remember? You gotta rise to meet the challenge. I've heard those things never work, or I know somebody. Well, actually, let me back up a minute and go, you know what? There are some companies out there that, yeah, they don't work. They're hard. They're tough. Or they go out of business or something like that. So there is some of that. And people have tried some things, and it was really hard. You got to give them an out. You got to let them know, yeah, you know what? Shoot, I probably would have quit if I did Amway, or a lot of other companies like that. I hate to single them out, but that's what, that's the company most people are familiar with, and it is. It's just a lot tougher built. So I've heard those things never work, or I know somebody that tried that. You have to be in the beginning, or only the people at the top make all the money. Believe that whoever hears these objections, excuses, and reasons the most makes the most money. And I don't have time on this. This is a whole section right here about getting used to hearing these things and how to overcome them. This is what's coming out of their mouth, okay? But what is it that they're really saying behind these words? Okay, and I'll do a whole training of that when I come to LA, and it'll be powerful. Really good stuff. All right. Don't be offended or defensive when you hear these kind of objections or excuses or whatever. Just address them in a very calm and professional manner. You don't want to convince people. You don't want to make them wrong. Be ready to say next in your mind and in your heart if they don't get it. Just you don't let it affect you. You don't let it suck the energy out of you. You just got to say next. That person is not qualified. And you don't ever want to be a hard closer. A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. So don't even press a person like that too hard. All right. Now this is an important one, guys, because I know you're probably getting a lot of mixed messages from a lot of different leaders around the country, and the truth is, there's a lot of different ways to expose this business to your prospects. But the number one way is these bigger hotel-type meetings. The prospect always wants the easy way. The prospect always wants a website, a brochure, some information they can take home with them. That's what the prospect always wants, that, okay? And they make a decision based on that, and it's weak, okay? And that's the absolute fallback position if you just can't get them to budge or do anything. But the holy grail is when you can get them to a meeting where there's a lot of other people. They might not relate to you, but they might relate to somebody else. And when they see a lot of other people having success and a lot of energy, and that it is a fun group and a fun environment, They're like, man, this ain't so bad. Okay, all right, yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, I'm paying it. Okay, this is good. And all of a sudden, I mean, I've had so many people tell me that, you know, they swore up and down they would never, ever, ever, ever do something like this. And this is the one company they've said yes to. And you know what? They're excited and they're passionate. And most of these people have never done anything like this before. So they've got a steep learning curve, but they're willing to go through it because they just get it and they like it. And there's nothing else they want to go do. I mean, they're certainly not going to quit this and all of a sudden start, you know, pushing some kind of nutritional or something. So if they quit this, they're quitting it all together. But they're in this, and we got to train them up how to do this. So the importance of having hotel-type meeting presentations and having a master presenter. I don't believe in rotating in and out a bunch of inexperienced presenters. If your star quarterback is healthy, you play your star quarterback. And everybody else has got to be fighting to become the star quarterback. And that day, that star quarterback can't start, and he needs his backup to step in. All of a sudden, that backup can step in and shine. That all those other people that want to become the presenter, guess what? They should be presenting at Starbucks and at house meetings and honing their skills there. They should not be honing their skills in front of the hotel public meeting room. Okay? Not until they're really ready. They know this stuff backwards and forwards. And they've been critiqued by the other leaders. All right? Y'all got to run people through this process. This is how you make the, you know, this is how you create the best. Hotel meetings, you know, they're just live. They're more interactive. The testimonials are the most important thing. I mean, if I hand somebody a DVD, the testimonials can be good on a DVD, but they're not like in person where I can ask them questions. A brochure, none of this stuff is like an interactive testimonial. I want to go meet the people and talk to them myself and touch them and see if they're real and was there some kind of secret, you know, special deal or something like that. And I'll tell you, our leadership, they did not get any special deals. In other companies, that is a way of doing business. They cut deals, they buy leadership, they do all kinds of things. And I want you to know that if you're just starting out in World Ventures, you know, your leadership didn't get a bunch of special deals. Okay, they built their groups through dedication and hard work, and they're just, I mean, just wonderful leadership in this company. They did it. So the presenters should not be rushing through the presentation either. It's not a race. And, you know, it's not who can do the meeting the fastest. The main thing is, if you want to be a presenter or you're talking to people, even if you're just trying to prospect and recruit, you should be very genuine and very authentic. And I think that Martin is a poster child. I mean, he's one of the most genuine, authentic guys I know and have ever met. You're all blessed to have him as a leader. Jefferson, you know, our leadership in general is this way. This is why we've got such a good company feel. But that's where the connections are made, that we all actually care. We all are big-hearted people. We actually care about each other. So if you're not excited enough or believe enough to be passionate, then don't do a meeting. Definitely have somebody else do it for you. Focus on the prospect's needs, not your own. That's key. Be the solution to the prospect's problems, especially in today's world, in today's economy, especially out in California, Arizona, Florida. When you first approach people, it looks like you're adding to their problems. They're already spread thin on time and money. And now you come along and it seems like you're trying to ask them for more time and more money. Okay, no. You're trying to put them in business, which is what they should have done 2 and 3 years ago. And you're trying to partner with them in life. Okay, so you got to be able to have that conversation and get them past this appearance of you're trying to suck time and money away from them when right now they're trying to hoard their time and their money because the news is telling them that everything's bad, the world is coming to an end, the sky's falling, and you need to hang on to all your stuff. So, you know, find out what their needs are, and then you help them fill their needs and help them make them through this bad economy. So how can you help them? How can we help them? A leader in a market must be focused and dedicated to the team. You got to surround yourself with a team of focused and dedicated people that are willing to put together a very strong meeting that is consistent. It's at the same time, at the same place for at least 6 weeks in a row. And you should be doing meetings on Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, and Saturdays. You should have this kind of a rotation going. All right? And y'all got to play team on this. This is what Jefferson and I did every time. He and I knew that if nobody showed up, it was going to be me and him. And Matt and I, this is how we did it. Okay? And we put the meeting on, period. And then during the week and during the rest of the days, we made sure we worked and recruited and got whoever we could there. And then when we got there, we did a good job. I'm gonna go on past this, but when you get to the meeting, play team, learn how to edify each other, and just let people know that there's a system and this is a part of the system and that they don't have to do this. That's what we're here for. You always ask the audience, well, how, the person who invited you here tonight, how hard are they working right now? And they're just sitting there right next to you, not doing anything. Who's doing all the work? The presenter up in the front of the room. So then you ask them, okay, can you do what they did? Can you just get somebody to this meeting? If so, your prospects are gonna hear the information, see the information, feel the information. They're gonna want to do it too. So that's the way it works. You don't have to learn all this. That's what we're here for. Now go grab somebody and bring them back. And I'm gonna zip through this last stuff here, folks. I hope I'm helping. I'm hoping just you get some nuggets, some aha moments. But here's what you've got to know: the path that you're on, and it's hardest in the beginning. Okay. But you're just trying to get to this tipping point. You're just trying to get momentum in your group. And you can tell that this looks like the momentum slide that we show people about formulation, concentration, and momentum. Well, that happens within your group too. And the way it happens is you got to have these cookie cutter goals that you run people through. And you should be getting your 4 as fast as possible because people are always going to ask you, how long have you been doing this? How much money are you making? And you want to be able to say, look, my first week I got my 4, okay, made more of my money back, and I'm not paying for the monthlies. I mean, this is a no-brainer. I did it. I'll help you do it. If I can do it, you can do it. But you can see the multiple that occurs. Most people don't understand exponential growth. They only understand linear and job and maybe a 3%, pay raise every year, okay? Or they got to quit and go get a new job at higher pay. That's the only thing they know. They don't know this exponential growth stuff. They don't understand duplication. Okay, this is why we're teachers more than salespeople. So we're gonna teach them about this, and then we're gonna help them do it. So you get 4, then 16, 64, 256, 1,004, 4,008, and look at what happens around that 256 mark. I mean, this thing just takes off like a rocket, and that's where you got enough. It's the 80-20 rule kicks in right there. Okay, Pareto's law. We got, a lot of people who aren't doing anything and don't have all the talent in the world, but then you got 20% of the people that kick in and start producing 80% of your results, and it just goes gangbusters. Now, lead by example. The speed of the pack is the speed of the leader. You heard Martin tell you that he has 85 personals that's led to tens of thousands of dollars, and this graph is why. You got to understand exponential growth. And yeah, if you do the minimum, okay, 4, so that you pay no more, okay, yeah, if that duplicates, then you're going to wind up with 4,096. But if you'll do 12, if nobody else does, nobody's doing what you're doing, but everybody else is just doing 4. But if you do 12 and then they all do 4, get 4, pay no more, look at the bottom line. All right, now what if you do 20 instead of 12? It's 20,000. What if you do 50 personals instead of 20 personals? Look at the difference it makes. It's huge. So this is why you want to master being a prospector and be a master inviter, and you'll get more personals. And then it's luck of the draw. It's the 4 aces. It's it's the 80-20 rule. And this is why you got to take you out of the equation. It's a numbers game. And as long as you're making it about you, you'll suck the life out of you because you're carrying this weight on your mind and your heart and your shoulders. It's like, no, it's just numbers. Don't be afraid to reach your hand out and meet somebody new and look them in the eye and believe that you can change their life. Give their name, phone number, and email address, then run them through your system. Okay, recommended reading for the 5 hats of a pro networker. And this is the path you're on, is from beginning to pro. You want to be a student. You're going to be a student, a salesperson, a sales manager, a business owner, and a mentor and trainer. And what role am I playing right now on this webinar? Isn't it mentor and trainer? But I'm teaching you how to be a good student. You're being student. But these are my books that I like, at each phase, okay? And you wear these hats interchangeably. Jefferson Santos, who's one of the top money earners in the company, and IMD, and getting paid on multiple tracking centers and all this, guess what? He's on this webinar being a student. Martin's being a student. Other leaders, Dave Barrett, on here being a student. All right? Salesperson. The main thing you learn to sell more than anything is time. Give me 30 minutes through that 2-minute text to meet up with you. That's the number one thing we sell is give me 30 minutes. Time. Not travel, not make money, all that kind of stuff. I mean, the main thing is you're just trying to get in front of people as fast as you can, as many people as you can, as fast as you can. But you got to be personable. So how to win friends and influence people. And the 1-minute salesperson is going to teach you to care about the other person's interests and solving their problems and their needs. That's good training for sales. It'll make you approach sales the right way. And then sales manager, this is going to teach you how to be a good leader. And you need John C. Maxwell's 21 irrefutable laws of leadership in that right there too, under sales manager. I left that one off. Big mistake. Business owner, E-Myth Revisited, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And then to be a good coach and trainer and mentor, Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, and Raising a Giant. All right. So here's my short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals, and we're finished. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, hit reset in your mind and in your heart. Hit reset and start again the way that you should have. Today is Saturday. It's the first day of the week. It's from your pay. Sales cut off at midnight here in Texas Central Time. But Saturday's the first day of the week, and you're starting out the week good with some good training. And man, you got to go use this stuff. And you gotta commit to getting your weeks started off good. Saturday and Sunday and Monday, you should be all out effort on meeting people and running people through the system and getting as many sales on those first few days of the week that you can. And then those become, the bait for the people that you're going to try and close out on Thursday and Friday. You're calling people up that wanted to think about it. And you're like, look, dude, let me tell you what happened to me this week. I got all these people. I got this one. I got that one. I got a lot more appointments this week. Dude, get in first, And this is where you start. So it's always good to get off to a good start in the week. It makes you confident to close people out. All the people that said they want to think about it. You're going to approach them with a lot more conviction if you've got sales in hand. All right. So hit reset and start the way that you should have. Who's your full-time upline leader? Who gets paid from your results? You're on the pay leg of somebody above you, and they don't know how focused you are, serious, committed you are until you say, here I am, I'm your guy, I'm your gal. Dude, train me. I'm not going to let you down. And then you make that commitment and you follow through with that commitment. Now, one of our goals is to have the highest success rate in the network marketing industry. And I know the secret to that is just get everybody to make one sale. The truth is, the vast majority of the people who join never make one sale. And that's sad. That's because somebody didn't do their game plan session with them. They didn't make them feel like they were a part. They made them feel like a sale, okay? They didn't make them feel like a business partner. That's a big, big lesson right there. Every time you sign somebody up, don't you start high-fiving people. That is not the sell you're after. The sell you're after is when they make their first sale, when they give you their list of their top 10 to 20, their top 100 list, and then you go work with them and you help them make their first sale. That's the real home run sale. So the power of one. If we just help people get one, we'll have the highest success ratio in the industry. And the rule is each one, reach one, and teach one to reach one. So get 4, pay no more after that. You should have everybody focused on getting their 4 and pay no more so that people ask them, well, how much, how long have you been doing this? How much you making? Look, dude, I'm in this for free. All right, I got my 4 a long time ago, and it doesn't even cost me anything. Everything is profit. Okay, just be quiet and look. Focus on the message, not the messenger. All right. So how are you going to get your 4? Well, you got to show your top 10 to 20 list within 2 weeks and use your full-time upline leader to help you do it at Starbucks or wherever. Get 12 personals after that. Then get your 20. Then get your 30 to 50, like that graph showed you. Now, why should you be focused on 30 to 50 as soon as possible? Because, you know, I'm able to look into the computer system, the database, and see that the average RMD and above has somewhere in that range. And so how fast do you want to go get 30 or 50? Because that puts the odds totally in your favor, okay, that you're going to be at the top of the food chain in this if you'll go do this. So figure it out how to do it. You know, just go stir it up. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. The main thing is get out there and stir it up. Don't sit home and do nothing. But, you know, make the time for it. You know, you own the time. Focus on your binary and get yourself paid and get yourself some residuals rolling in. You know, get 30-30. And then you got residual bills, you need a residual income, and that's something to brag about in today's world more than ever. It's that whole concept of, look, everybody's got residual bills and they need a residual income. That's freedom. So go get 30-30, then focus on 90-90, then focus on 30-30, or I'm sorry, 300-300. And that's where I start to see it take on a life of its own, that just through the 80-20 rule, you got enough leaders. A lot of people aren't doing anything, but the ones that are, they're really taking this thing and running with it on their own. But then you keep helping them, and you keep helping them, and you keep helping them, and you get your teams up to 3,000, and all of a sudden, I mean, this thing is locked. I mean, you're going to have leaders down below you that are going to do this with or without you, and you're going to be able to travel and do all those things, and your paycheck is just going to grow and grow. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I had to share with you. I've covered a lot in a short period of time. I hope it's helped. I respect that you've taken time to be, you know, here. And so, Martin, I respect your leadership in putting it together. And I look forward to hearing some results. If any of this has helped you and it produces results, you know, please let me know, and I might go to get in the future. Thanks, everybody. Look forward to seeing you in LA.